Hello everyone, it's Sam here, and in this video I'm gonna showcase the new GUI that I developed for ROS2, which is ROS2 Robot, which is actually is gonna help you manage your packages, source everything, and have everything in one place. Let's see it together and see it in action. So the first thing you need to do is just go to the Robot2 repo, and here you can see all the files, and it's open source, so you can see everything. You can contribute, you can put your issues and suggestion for features. You can see all the details. You can see more pictures and screenshots from the software itself. You just need to have a specific version of ROS2, and you can install, but you can install the software even without it. But to run this software, you need to have a ROS2 version. So you can just copy this curl command. So I just copied the curl command from my repo, and if I come here, and I'm gonna test today in a Windows subsystem for Linux. So yeah, we don't need to cd to the home directory, but I cd it, and if I list here, you can see that the package is already installed, but I can basically run the uninstall command instead of install, and it will uninstall it. But also if there is an update on the repo, you can just run this command and it will update your package. You don't need to uninstall and install it again. So here, if I run this command, it will run it and it will ask me for the sudo command, and you can see why from the installed as such file. But basically, if you have some commands and packages that we need to install, we need the sudo right, and if it needs to remove the previous package and install the new one, it needs the sudo command. So I write the password, and now it installs the dependencies. If it detects if there is anything, it creates the virtual environment, and it creates the shortcut and everything, and it sources your environment. And now basically you can run the command ros2 robot. If this doesn't autocomplete, for example, directly, you just can close your terminal and open a new one just for the first installation time, but usually it should work basically fine. So if I run this command, you can see this is our software. So here you can choose to open a workspace. Basically, whenever you run the system, you can choose whatever workspace you want to work on, even if you have older workspaces, but they need to follow uh, the structure of ROS2 workspaces. If you by mistake chose like an empty folder, or a folder that doesn't have the src folder, which means that doesn't follow the structure of the ROS2 packages, you can, like, it will show you this message error. You want to initialize the src, like it's just gonna show you that there is an error with this workspace. But yeah, basically, if you select a workspace that is well set up, it will be fine. But also you can initialize a new workspace, and it will initialize in the directory that you already chosen. Here you can, for example, build this workspace, and it will show you that we can clean build, we can build normally, and we can put some CMake arguments. And it shows you like building and succeeding. So it succeeded here. And the other thing is that we can open our IDE directly here. So now if I choose open workspace on IDE, it opens on my IDE that I chose on the first time. But let me just remove it from the, yeah. So here, if I open IDE the first time it will ask you this, what is the IDE that you want to use? But here I just, on my Windows subsystem for Linux, I only have VS Code, so I'm gonna stick with VS Code. The other thing is you can create new packages, you can manage your packages, and you can choose if it's Python or C. And also in all of these screens, to know how it's running on the background, you can see what are the commands that are running to do the things that you are seeing in the GUI. You don't need to do all of this stuff, but I just added for people who directly use this GUI for the first time to learn ROS2 in the future, so they know what is happening in the background. But basically, it's like GitHub Desktop. So GitHub Desktop is the GUI to manage. Instead of running Git commands on your terminal, you can use just the GitHub Desktop, and it's one of the inspiration behind this software. So you can create packages, I can see, and it will just rebuild. If you create a new package, it will rebuild and it will source everything, so you don't need to worry about all of this. The same for nodes. You can select nodes here and you can create whatever sorry, a new node in whatever package. So if I just create node, let's call it test 6, here it will rebuild and it will add it. You will see it here. So you can run any of these nodes and you can even kill all of them and run all of them. Let's select another workspace actually that has more publishing, or like a node that is written. So here we have this node, for example. Let's run publish one, another publisher, but both of them are the same code and they publish to the same topic, just to showcase. Here, if I go to the topic inspector, you can see the topic that we publishing to, and you can measure the hertz that, or the rate that this topic is published at. It's around 4 hertz. You can get more details to load here about this topic and who's the publishers and how many publishers and how many subscribers are connected to this topic. And you can also start echoing live messages from this topic. So you can see here everything from one place. Also, you can create launch files. So basically, a launch file builder is usually when we create launch files, we just needed to run specific nodes with delays and some bash scripts. So these are the blocks that I added for now. So you can run a node from a specific publisher. So let's from a specific package, sorry. So you can say pop1, you can make a delay, you can run another node from another package. So let's say subscriber from the second package. And we can delay another thing and we can run a bash script, or we can even run a nested launch. So run a launch file inside of this launch file. And we can call it launch with the NCH, not an A, launch one. So here you can see, and it's in the second package. Here you can even move them down and up to change them. You don't need to remove and get back. And you can generate the launch file. It will generate, and you will see it here, launch one. Now, if I launch it, it will show you what is happening and all the nodes. So you see this one, and after 3 seconds, it launched this one. And if I go to the visualizer, so there is another thing is a visualizer. So here you can see the nodes, the publisher and the subscriber, and how everything is connected to each other. And here you can see all the nodes running. I can kill all of them, so you don't need to see all of them. And now if I go to visualizer, it will have nothing to show. The other thing is actually, let me run one of these nodes, is a log viewer. So here you can see that there is this log viewer, and it by itself it shows all the errors, the warnings, and the information like this. But if you want to just if you have a specific error message, sometimes it's tiring that it's scrolling, auto scrolling, and you can't see this error message because of all the information and all the data that's published. So what you can do here is just filter by the errors, and you can see all the errors, you can see the warnings, and you can see the info, or basically you can remove all of them and see all of them again as well. You can clear the screen and it will just start publishing, and that's it. So you have also bag manager. So you have ROS bags, ROS2 bags. You can record the bag and it will store it in the specific location in the workspace, and you can browse and play back your bag. And there's the parameters, which you can select a node and you can see the different parameters of this node, and you can adjust the different parameters of this node. You have other tabs other than these, but you can see them in the settings. So in the settings, you can see that we can choose dark or light mode, and we can say enable hardware. It doesn't really matter here because it's like in beta version. And you can change your IDE or default IDE, and you can add the nodes, and you can, order and remove nodes, tabs. And here, for example, if I want to put the visualizer, which I usually put it after the launch file, I can put the URDF at the end. I can I don't need the parameters that much, so I can remove it. I can add the DDS a troubleshooter if you have more than like robot and so on the same network. But yeah, basically you can adjust all of these stuff like as you like. So everyone has their own preferences. So this is basically the settings, and it's gonna be memorized when the next time you launch the software, it's gonna be memorized. So for example, if I launch the software again, it's gonna be in dark mode and it will memorize my tabs and even the workspace that I was working on. But basically, let's select another workspace that has some URDF files. I use this for testing. If I go to the URDF viewer, it's still basic, still in beta, still under development, but basically you can select any of your robots that URDF files or Zacro files, and you can see that we can zoom, pan, rotate, orbit around your model, and you can move the joints. If you forget, you can reset the camera, and as you can see, I can move the different joints, and it will detect the different joints. You can also, for example, the UR10. Here I made some stuff so to make it lighter, but basically it doesn't load the model except if you leave it a little bit, so it takes time. But why is this? Because it makes it faster to visualize and to move your robot. You can move the different joints for sure, and it loads again your URDF model. So here, this is under development, but it's very useful. But also you can open it directly, like the workspace, you can open on the IDE, you can open your nodes on the IDE. If I click in any of these nodes, I need to select my IDE for the first time, and now it's saved by default. So now it will open the node and the workspace on side of Windows subsystem for Linux, so I can edit my node. But also I can open my URDF files and I can see them and I can edit them. So yeah, there is not much other features, but there is the tool hub, which I added a few tools that we commonly use. It depends on the community, how the other tools that they want me to add. But here I added RVs, Gazebo, RQT Graph, and Juggler, sorry. It's another package that I like. It's developed from an active ROS community member, David, if I recall his name correctly. It's very nice. You can check it out. And whenever you install the software, and if you don't have this package on your system, it will show you install. So after you install it, will detect that it's installed and you can launch it. But for example, if we launch RVs, you basically can see RVs directly from here. So yeah, basically this is our software. I hope you like it. I hope it's useful for the community. And this is just the version 1. More developments are coming, so all you need just to have a clean Linux machine, and then you just install this software. It installs all the Python packages, the ROS packages, and everything. This is the view for the future. So yeah, please let me know if you have any suggestions, features, open issues, and even if you have an update or a feature that you want to add, you can make a merge request as long as it's respecting the testing and everything, so it doesn't break the code. It will be accepted, everything will be accepted, and it's an open source project. I hope it grows with us. I hope it's going to be useful for the community. Thank you for watching and listening to me, and that's it. See you in another video.